Hi. Today we'll discuss about introduction and evolution of cloud computing. So basically, before getting to this presentation, let me put my screen into the full view. Yeah. So what do you mean by cloud computing and why the cloud computing nowadays the people started to speak more about the cloud computing? Why does the cloud computing really doing a favor for the publics or whether the cloud computing, what type of services that the cloud computing provided to the various end users. So what exactly the cloud computing does for the humans. So that is what the topic that we are going to discuss today. So basically, we call it as an introduction and evolution of cloud computing, how the cloud computing have been originated. So what are the technologies that existed previously, and what are the disadvantages for the technology, and what the technology cloud does, and what are the drawbacks that has been overcome by the cloud. So those are all topics that we'll be discussing now. So we'll just go into the introductions to the cloud computing. What do you mean by cloud computing? Normally, a lot of peoples and a lot of researchers and a lot of scientists, and they use these own definitions. But uh, coming to the point, the commonly what we can say is the cloud computing will deliver a computing services. So this is what a cloud computing does. So what it delivers a computing services. So what do you mean by computing services? A computing services might be a server, or it might be a storage, or it might be a database, or it might be some networking, or it might be providing a service as just like a software, or even more. So commonly we'll be categorizing cloud computing services or PaaS, platform as a services, and IaaS, infrastructure as a services, and SaaS. So basically, we'll be categorizing the types of cloud services into three different types: PaaS, IaaS, and SaaS. So in upcoming topic, we'll be discussing more about the types of services. So we'll just go with some basics about a cloud computing. So cloud computing, what it does? It does it delivers computing services to the various end users via the internet. So without internet, we can't able to provide the services to the various end users. So what a cloud computing does? Cloud computing provides an alternative to on-premises data center. On-premises data center in the sense is, so normally if I just want to maintain a data center, so I have a company. So for example, ABC. So the company is ABC, and this company contains the hundreds of computers, and I just want to buy two servers, and I have to buy some lot of networking components and storage for the data and everything for this hundreds of computers. So for maintaining this network, I need to spend around 10 crores for maintaining this type of network. So instead of spending this 10 crores for getting the server for 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs, each server might be a 20 lakhs. So I have to spend a 20 lakhs for maintaining the server and for maintaining the database and providing the supports. I have to spend around 10 to 15 lakhs per month, right? So instead of spending all the stuff and for buying the softwares, I have to spend again. I have to get the software for a paid one, right? So I have to buy everything. I have to manage everything on my own. So I have to manage everything, which means like the purchasing of the software or installing the hardware, creating the virtualization, installing the operating system. Each and everything have to be done by on my own. So we can avoid the entire thing. We can get the this services. So what are the services I have specified in this diagram? So I can get the server, I can get some networking components, I can get the storage, I can get some softwares, right? So I can get everything as I'm going to pay only for the usage. So whatever I'm going to use, I'm going to pay only for that. So that is what the benefit of the cloud computing. So instead of spending around 10 crores for setting up my home network, and again for maintaining this network, I have to pay the license for the software, I have to pay the renewal cost, and for maintaining the networks, for employability of maintaining the data centers. So everything I have to pay for that money. So instead of uh, avoiding everything, I'm just going to avoid all the things. and I'm not going to pay much more money. I'm going to pay only whenever there is a demand for me. I'm going to utilize. I'm going to, so for example, so this is a cloud service, CSP, cloud service provider, one who is going to provide a service, and this is my home network. So in this home network, we send a request to the cloud service provider, and cloud service provider will provide the services. As I just told you, the services might be platform or infrastructure or software or sometimes storage. So these are all services where cloud can provide to the consumer. So consumers will send the request. So based on the request and service level agreement, the cloud service provider will provide the services. And at the end of the utilization of all the resources, the billing will be generated by the cloud service provider, and user will pay only for the utilization, whatever it has been utilized by the end user. So this is what the advantage of cloud computing. So as I just told you, like if you choose a cloud computing vendor, cloud vendor is responsible for hardware purchase and maintenance. So here, so this is the advantage. So if we go for a cloud computing, so cloud computing in the sense, as I just told you, like CSP, cloud service provider, one who's going to provide a services. So what he does, he will maintain the hardware, he will have a list of software, and he have a separate data center. So he have a lot of stuff with this in this network, and his work, cloud service provider work, is only to provide a services to the various end users, so various customer, right? So cloud consumer, we call it as a cloud consumer, and we call this as a cloud service provider, the one who's going to consume the service from the cloud. So we call it as a consumers, and one who's going to provide a service to the consumer, we call it as a cloud service provider. So one who's going to provide the services. So I told you about the services might be on platform, infrastructure, or software, or storage, right? So for maintaining this network, so we need a cloud consumer need not worry about anything, anything for maintaining or installation. So whatever I just told you previously. So purchasing of the hardware, installing the hardware, and then virtualization, installing the operating system. I don't want to bother about the consumer. Don't want to bother anything about such kind of work. So the consumer, what he's going to do is he's going to send a request to the service provider. If the service provider accept this request, and he is going to provide the required software or hardware or infrastructure to the consumer, and consumer will be benefited with that hardware or software or infrastructure, and he's going to, at the end, cloud consumer is going to pay the money only for the utilization. So that is what the exactly the cloud does for the various consumer. And not only that, responsibility for purchasing a hardware, they also provide a variety of software platform as a services. So we can take any required service on rent. So this is what I just want to take. Cloud computing will give this kind of benefits. So only, for example, if I want to maintain a data center, and for setting up the initial cost itself, it takes around 10k, sorry, 10 lakhs for creating the data center. And for maintaining the data center, every month I have to spend around 50,000 for maintaining the data centers. I'm just including the employability, and then power consumptions, and the network management. So everything which comes with, I'm just giving an example. So for creating the data center, I spend around 10 lakhs, and for maintaining every month, for maintaining the data center, I'm going to spend around 50,000. So just think about that. Every month I have to spend 50,000, and in a year approximately I have to spend around 60 lakhs, right? So around sorry, 6 lakhs I have to spend per month for maintaining only the data centers. Just think about that. Instead of that, if a cloud service provider is providing such kind of services, so whatever I just want to do with this data center, if that service will be, if the service provider is providing that services, and I can get services from the service provider, right? So I'm going to pay only for that utilization. So for example, weekly, I just want to use only a 6 hours for, to be utilized for this data center. So instead of getting it on my own, I'm going to get it for the rental basis, and I'm going to pay only for the usages. So which means, all obviously, per month I'll be charging around 1,000 or 2,000 rupees. So maximum at max I'll be charging only about 1,000 to 2,000. So just think about that. The cost of my investment is 10 lakhs, and per month for maintaining the data center around the 50,000. So just think about the cost comparison between these two. So if I'm going for a rental basis, which means whenever there is a demand for me, only by that time I'll be using the services. Apart from that, I don't want to use the services. So I hope you understood what exactly the cloud computing services will be provided. So the thing is, you will be using the services and you will be charged based on the usage. So that is what exactly what a cloud does. I hope you understood this topic. So thank you so much.